What up?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome.
You probably realized, or you probably noticed there wasn't an intro this time yet.
Need a paper bag there? Are you hyperventilating?
No, not yet. Maybe by the end of this episode. Maybe.
All right.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Sounds good.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Appreciate everybody that subscribed. If you haven't, do that, please.
Pretty, please.
Make me happy. You know what I mean?
Yep. Not mean, hummy.
Yummy.
Yummy.
No, yummy.
I think you say yummy. Dum dum, give me gum gum.
Oh shit.
Yum yum in my dum dum. Oh, I'm weird.
Jesus
but,
Christ.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, but everybody probably saw in the title, if you can read. I'm assuming you can. If you
No,
if
they're
you can't,
illiterate.
Yeah. If you can't, then hey.
More power to you.
Yeah. I was trying to think if illiterate means read or write. I think literate is right. Who cares?
Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
If you can't read, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah, no. If you can't read,
kidding.
that's cool. If you can, what's up?
Have someone tell you
Yeah.
what it says.
Yeah,
if you
have somebody help you find the subscribe button is what we're trying to say.
can. Pretty much.
But if you saw the title, we have a guest today, and this is an intro video that we're doing, kind of because we kind of just started off out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really even introduce the guest. We kind of just started talking. So that's pretty much it for the intro. Hope you guys enjoy it. His name is Rocky Miano. We got his information. What's that?
I'd say he's a cool ass dude.
Yeah, he's cool as shit. His information is going to be in the description, so go check his stuff out. He's you'll know about him because we talked for about 2 hours. So
Yeah, quite a bit.
pretty good conversation. It will end abruptly, and you might see us back here at the end. But I lost what I was going to say.
Not again.
Yeah, can you believe it?
Damn it, man.
But yeah, you might see us back here just so it's not an awkward,
Right.
abrupt ending. But as far as him being on the show, it will be an abrupt ending. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy it, and we will see you back here at the end of the episode.
There we go.
Are we good now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
No.
Hello.
Welcome to the
Never.
episode of Jank Ass Crap.
Welcome to my first episode. Definitely not the second one that hopefully doesn't get corrupted.
I think we're good now. It's working.
I probably just jinxed it.
Yeah,
The audio was going to cut out
that's
right
a touchy subject around here.
Yeah.
We don't talk
Like, I
about that
flinched
day.
when you said that.
Dude, my fucking my
don't
dick
say it.
went like this. It was like
Like a turtle head. Like,
Yeah.
hate when that happens, especially when it's not even cold out. It just does it.
I mean, mine just does it constantly.
I feel
Mine's
you,
just
brother.
all day long. All day long, it's just.
Oh, is it? Oh, no.
now. I don't know. I can't relate.
Wait, you don't have a tick? What?
Damn it. I left it at home. It's in my purse. Sometimes I keep it under like a pillow or something. So
Guys,
I have it
I
today.
think we need to check on Jason here in a minute.
I don't know. Maybe
Is your
accidentally
your
key
last name
somebody's
Bob?
car, but not.
Does it take D-cell batteries?
His name's Bob. You know.
Yeah, double D batteries.
Double D.
Double D for me. There you go. That's Bob.
Oh shit.
Sorry, babe, if you watch this. I'm sorry.
But yeah, welcome back, guys. Welcome to the episode. Obviously, it's going to be a great one. We got our awesome guest, Rocky.
You almost call me Ricky.
Ricky Rocky?
Rocky.
You almost called me Ricky. You son of a bitch.
And I
we
pronounce.
went through this.
I take pride in the fact that I pronounced it right on the first try. Miano.
Shut up.
Yes.
Miano.
Yes.
Rocky Miano.
Not
Everybody.
Milano, not Miano, or
And the way you responded to that, it
Minnow.
seemed like you get that a lot, where people don't know how to say it.
too many times.
Yeah.
Too
Minnow,
way
like a little fish. Minnow.
hard to spell apparently too. Even after I try to spell it to people.
Is
and
it 2
show them,
N's or
like-
one?
It's one.
One M-I-A-N-O?
Well, no, I mean, one of my last exes, I went to her to her work to hang out with her. She told the guy, so they have a security guard at the very front. She tells the guy how to spell my name. I get there, I tell him how to spell my name. I show him my fucking driver's license that actually shows him, hey, it's spelled Miano. Motherfucker still spells it as Mariano.
Mariano. He's adding shit. He's making it worse for
Like
himself.
what the are you trying to like be racist? Like are you trying did you think I said Mario? You're like, no, I think it might be Miana. I'm just gonna combine it.
Wow.
What's up, Mariano?
I was like, you're 3 letters away from calling me a fucking like pizza sauce, basically.
Marinara.
It's me, Mariano.
Oh,
It's
God.
me, Prego.
Prego. I'm not pregnant.
I
It's
feel
your
you.
kid.
Oh my god.
I feel
I'm
you.
already crying. This is fucking great.
It's yours too.
Yeah.
My
what?
real name's
Your
like
kid.
that. Like,
Oh.
I go by Allie, but Alexandria, yeah, you should watch people try to spell that or pronounce it. And then even Allie, it's spelled A-L-L-I-E. You should see how many ways people spell it. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
never
it's-
right.
and it's
ever.
ridiculous sometimes.
And then you're like, please, just please. Or you get blessed with a very unique name. And I didn't think my name was very unique, but go look for your name on a keychain. It always used to disappoint me as a kid.
See, you would think the name is Rocky. It would be on any keychain you find. I can't find it worth shit. No matter because I've been to New Jersey. I've been to all these different like touristy areas, and they all have those little tchotchkes of like little keychains. They have like Richard and all these other ones, and you like look around for Rocky, and there's just nothing. It's like, seriously? It's like I can find my real name, Edward,
Right.
but Rocky? Seriously?
I can tell you,
My
I can
brother
find my
does
name
that.
real quick because
I know.
Tyler is like the
Same
only.
with mine. So common.
Like,
It's
I
like
have
the
a better-
whitest name ever.
Trailer trash park man.
Like I have a better chance of finding it on a fucking Coke bottle.
Share a Coke with Ty.
Oh, not me. Nope. I can probably find all the names of the women to Mambo number 5 before I can find my name. Seriously.
Oh shit.
They'll have Alejandro. They'll have Alexandra. They'll have Allison, Alex, but never Allie or Alexandria. I cannot.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's very interesting having a unique name. 'Cause I still get those people like, is that your real name? It's like, technically yes. What do you mean by technically? I'm like, Edward's my real name, it's my real first name, but I go by my middle name, which is Rocco, which another way of saying Rocco is Rocky. Oh, okay. Like, why the fuck did you ask? If
Okay,
you
I have a
just be
question.
oh.
Like with your real name, or are you like do you only have like specific people say your real name, or do you like?
Oh no,
Or
I
does
don't.
everybody call you it?
You-
Or
I don't care, honestly. I'm the type of person, like, if you want to call me Edward, if you want to call me Ed, Eddie, Rocky, Rocco,
Ed, Ed,
whatever.
Eddie.
Ed, and Eddie.
Simultaneously,
Yeah,
you're all 3 guys at
I'm all
once.
3 guys at the same time.
if you don't do the classic Ed voice, it would be disappointing. What did I say?
Yeah, no, I honestly don't care. Like, funnily enough, what I'll tell people is, you can call me whatever the hell you want, just don't call me late.
Don't call you what?
Don't call me
Late.
late.
Oh, I thought you said like. I was like waiting for the
That also
punchline.
means you're pregnant. What the fuck?
Don't call me like. You know. It's like what?
Don't call me a bitch or something.
I thought you were about to
I've
say
been called that
some
plenty of
cancel culture shit, and that's why you're like fill in the blank.
I'm sorry
I
if
thought
I
that's
keep,
what
I
you
keep
paused.
fucking with the mic for some reason.
Yeah, that's why I
I'm
set
trying
mine
not to
here.
should be
headbutt it
fine
like
now.
I normally do. So.
Yeah, he still has that on episodes. It shows you. Bam.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's an
Funny.
opener,
Yeah, it's
man.
in our intro, man.
It's awesome.
It's
Now they're gonna
it's
have
the whole
another
Star
one,
Wars.
bro.
It's like the whole Star Wars. You know what I'm talking about with the
Yeah. Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper banging his head against on the door, like in
Yeah.
the in the actual like scene for like the first Star Wars, a stormtrooper bangs his head in the background
Oh shit!
Like on a door
It
as
was,
it's
like,
opening
open
up.
all the
Because
way.
there's no like those helmets. There's barely enough visibility for the guys who were like actually in the suits. So there's 3 guys walking through this door, and I guess the door was like halfway open. There's a guy in front of him, and there's 2 other guys. One actually bent down because he knew the door was opening. The other guy just wasn't paying attention. You just see him go, boop. Yep.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and look at that because I don't think I paid attention.
I think it's the very beginning. I guess during like the raid of the rebel ship. Like
That's old Star Wars.
like old school, like episode. I almost said episode 1, but it's episode 4.
They're all right. They went in reverse.
Same
4,
shit,
5, 6.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9.
Episode 0. You know.
I think somebody needs to watch Sesame Street at some point.
Sesame Street.
1.
I wonder if somebody's made an edit of that, like on. You know how they do on fucking what's it called? They made like a beat out of somebody like falling. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Like turned it
Yeah.
into a regular song.
Oh my god!
I
You
can't
know,
remember what the fuck. Like none of them
Huh.
pop in my mind, but
no, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about though.
yeah.
Yeah, because there was someone who did that with like the dogs barking, and they
yeah.
made it into a song. Yeah, you didn't know about that?
That's crazy.
Oh, I know about it. Are you talking about, like, for example, I seen one where they took random dogs barking and did Linkin Park Numb?
Yes, the exact one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yep, I've seen it.
There's one where somebody like fell, just like dun, 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 dun. But it was somebody falling that bump, bump, bump.
There was one. And I feel so bad for this girl too, though, because I think it was a TikTok girl, and she was trying to do something. I think she like fell back like onto like one of the bedposts and like hit her ass in such a weird way, and she let out like really weird,
Oh yeah.
And then so like they started like actually doing these edits of it, and it's oh my god, it's probably one of the funniest videos I've ever watched.
The last one I laughed at that I probably shouldn't have was this girl is like, I already bopped the mic. This girl is like leaning over a railing and was hollering down to the floor at somebody. And like, I don't know if she just like lifted up on the banister or what, but when she backed away and stood up straight, there was a ceiling fan going behind her, and her head
Oh my
went
God.
right into it. Ba-da-da-da-da! Like,
How'd that go again?
okay, classic Christopher Titus. Ba-da-da-da-da!
And then somebody immediately after.
Jesus.
So hi, my name is Rocky Miano, and yeah, I'm a friend of you guys. We've been friends for
Of course.
a couple months now, right?
Yeah.
Now we first
Trying to
met,
think when-
I think we first met for the final show of Rumors, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And we all went
Yeah,
out to
'cause-
eat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But the funny is, I don't think I talked to you guys. So I think you guys were on the other end of the table,
No.
or did we talk?
Now Eric was right across from
I don't
me.
know
He was
if
next
he-
to his dad.
Were
He
you in-
was next to Tyler.
I know we were on the same table because I know that.
And Allie's right
That's
here.
right. You were on the left side of me. I remember
Yes.
that now. Yes.
And I was next to you. And Allie's
Yeah.
right here. My memory sucks, but I don't know how I remember that.
I was hiding in like the cubby hole.
My memory sucks, but he was here eating.
He was here. He was here.
He was eating a fruit salad
Yeah,
Yummy.
I don't know
on,
what y'all were
on a
eating.
Tuesday.
He was
just
talking about
know where
penises
you're
like
placed.
always.
It was 6:69
Penises
p.m.
and vaginas.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Scary movie too.
Yes, that's immediately what I thought of was that turkey scene.
Exactly. Hiawatha.
I don't know what the hell that is. I'm gonna lick it anyway.
God damn it! Those fucking movies are hilarious. It's funny because if you don't know, like when they came out, if there was no trailer, you would think, "Oh, this is gonna be like a scary fucking movie." I mean,
Oh
if
my
it's called
God,
scary
yeah.
movie, this has got to be the scariest of scary movies,
And
right?
you watch it, you're like, what the?
What the fuck is this? It's a parody. God damn it!
Making fun of scary
I want my
movies.
money back.
My favorite one is my favorite one's the third one. That still to this day I catch myself quoting that third one.
I see that you and I are just alike. He starts pissing out like fingers, like
I guess we're not so different after all.
I wonder what the creative process of that was. It's like, let's make a movie called Scary Movie and bury the fuck out of all scary movies.
I'm trying to think because I did actually do some research about that. If one of the things, if nobody knows me, is I'm a huge fan of movies. I'm a huge fan of cartoons, stuff like that. So I always, if I get bored, I start doing. I'm gonna move this mic a minute.
Go for it.
I feel like I'm
You're good.
slightly peaking. But I'm just a huge fan of like animation, movies, stuff like that. So when I get bored, I start to look up like trivia about movies. And what I do know is that I can't remember the guys' names, but they were in charge of the sequel to Airplane 2, which is the reason why Airplane and Airplane 2 are so different from each other. Was that the first one was made as a joke, and the second one because they made it because the studio wanted a new movie because it did so well. So they did all that. Scary Movie came out, but it was actually directed by I'm gonna forget his name. It's the guy who created In Living Color, like the Wayans brothers' dad.
Yes.
So he actually created that. That's the reason why his sons are actually in the movie.
That makes perfect
Right.
sense with the kind of humor that it is.
And then they wanted a sequel, and if I'm thinking right, I don't think they even asked Wayans to come back. I think they just said, "Screw it, we're gonna do a Scary Movie 2." And then they brought his sons back in. It's like a very convoluted story, but yeah, that's how all that was made.
Same with Haunted
Do
House.
me a favor
and
and move
Haunted
that
House
cord from here. I can,
This one?
no, the microphone cord.
Oh.
I can faintly hear it going.
Sorry.
It sounds like a fucking dog going.
Down boy, down boy.
That's why I busted out laughing out after like a semi-serious conversation.
He gets very excited sometimes.
Your ghost dog. You have something to tell us?
His house is haunted. Just like Papa John's.
No, he had me.
I don't know. Did you have someone tell us this is your house?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't feel any
I don't
weird
give away
vibes.
my secrets.
What are you gonna say?
I don't remember.
You're like, no, you told.
I'm just sitting over and crying. It's all good.
Need an issue.
Couldn't
for
be
that
more
tissue.
happy about
Need
it
a
either.
tissue? Need
Yes.
tissue?
I'm getting ready to get me a water. Does anybody else want a water?
One of
yeah, I'll
mine's
take one.
in the fridge.
You want me to get it?
Hey, if you don't mind.
Yeah. You want one?
I'm alright. I still have the rest of my water.
Duck in front of the camera.
Oh yeah.
Now we need Jacob here. Damn it. She's like, no.
If you go back and watch the one that
Thank
he's
you,
in,
sir.
you can hear me laughing through the entire thing. The entire episode.
Is that like 35? Episode 35 or something?
I don't remember, dude. We've done so many now. Not that we've done a whole bunch, but like for
Right.
somebody that
All together, we got like
Yeah.
60 or 70 videos now.
Oh, really?
But
Oh.
just
think we hit-
podcasts, it's like 30.
I believe we
something.
just hit 80. Let me look that up.
Actually, we're on 40, aren't we?
We recorded 40.
All right.
This is 41.
And I've only recorded one so far.
When we hit 100, we're going to do something special.
Yay!
not to give solicited advice or unsolicited advice, but I would get like 5 or so and then start dropping them. That way, if something happens, you have a bunch of them ahead of time.
Yeah.
Time to make new ones.
I mean, I guess this is a good time as any to say that I am currently working on a podcast actually about animation. And my good friend over here, Allie, is going to be part of one of the episodes.
Yep. And even if this episode comes out and he doesn't have that out, if you watch this like 3 years from now, we're gonna.
It'll probably still not be out.
Well, if by some chance it is, we'll put a link in this episode's description so you guys can go check out his channel.
Awesome. Thank you. But yeah, so I guess I'll kind of shill it for a minute.
70, by the way.
70?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Videos. But
Yeah,
podcast.
70, yeah.
This is 41 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. But so I have a podcast that I have been slowly working on called Know Your Tunes. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of animation, huge fan of movies, and I'm the type of person that if I'm interested in a movie, I start doing research about it, trying to figure out how it's created, stuff like that. Kind of came to a realization that there's not a lot of podcasts that talk about that. So I was like, why not just do a podcast about the history of these shows that we grew up watching?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a couple that like right now that are lined up, have been written. I'm actually going to go back and kind of revise a couple of them though, because when I wrote the last one, I realized the way I did it for the last one was the way I want to do it for the rest of them. But what? Is my leg?
No, it's yeah. You hear it? If you listen,
Oh my god, I can't hear it. Actually, yeah.
you can hear the cicadas outside too. There's fucking dude. Sorry to cut you off.
I
but-
hate cicadas.
Sorry to cut you off, but I was mowing my parents' yard the other day, and I could literally hear them with the mower on.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck?"
Were you dive bombed by any?
No.
Yeah, they'll if you go near one, like they will actually just. Then there's the random train. They will actually dive bomb you if you get too close to them. It's something I learned from my last job. When I used to work as a pest control technician, but there'll be days where I'm at a customer's house, like treating their house for like just random bugs, and all you hear is, and then like legitimately like actually hit you, and if feel like it doesn't hurt, but it will get your attention.
Yeah.
Nope,
the
nope,
shit out
nope,
of you.
nope, no kamikaze bugs for me.
They're
Nope.
also the most disgusting bugs I've ever
Dude,
seen.
they look fucking weird.
They're terrifying looking,
And they're so
I didn't-
big.
Yes. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I keep busting. I'm on 5 hours sleep, so I'm slap
dude, don't worry about it.
No, you're
right
good.
now.
I don't think you need water. I think you need some
5
fucking
hours
coffee.
of sleep, honestly. 5 hours of sleep is actually, to me, worse than pulling an all-nighter, to be honest.
Yeah.
It is.
No sleep.
Yeah.
Now 5 hours actually, it rested you, but not fully.
No, I was in my deep sleep when I woke up.
Oh.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I tell you what, like pulling an all-nighter,
I was thinking. I was
I
dreaming
end up
about
having
Pamela
weird
Anderson.
dreams when I do get to fall asleep.
Anderson, not Henderson. I said Pamela Henderson for some reason. I don't know why.
She's good at hand jobs.
snorting. The way you said it.
I was like Pamela
Henderson.
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 Just like the Harley Davidson that I came up with.
Yeah. So, yeah, anything that's, like, slightly funny to me normally that's not supposed to be is, like, 10 times funnier. So,
Oh, so you're slap happy.
Yeah,
right now. Oh,
dude.
okay, gotger.
for sure. No doubt about it. But as you were saying.
Yeah. So
Oh, shit.
So one of the questions I always ask people, and it's actually a question I asked Allie, it's a question I've asked all my family and friends is, and I'm going to ask you guys, what were your favorite cartoons growing up?
You want to go around the room or?
Sure.
I know
Start
Allie's
Nathan.
because she told me about it.
Yeah.
What was it?
Ladies first, yeah.
Do you remember?
Kablam.
Kablam.
Do you remember
I
Kablam?
don't think so.
Like, it was a mid-90s cartoon, and it looked like a comic book.
Yep.
And it was Henry and June. They were like the little cartoon hosts, and it was all these. All they did was show you little shorts, and like they had like Prometheus and Bob, which was one of my favorites. They had Life with Loopy,
I want to say that was also when they did. They introduced
Action League Now.
Action League Now. Oh my God, what was the one I was just thinking about it?
I was watching the wrong shit.
It was actually a short that was a promo for Family Guy. Like it was like a prototype Family Guy. Larry and Steve. That was it. It was called Larry and Steve.
Larry and Steve.
And it was created by Seth MacFarlane. And it's got a prototype Peter. It's got a prototype. I'm forgetting Brian. And it's got like the same voices as Peter and Brian. It has like a early version of Lois in it, and it's actually kind of cool. You can watch it on YouTube. It's kind of fascinating to watch. But if I'm thinking right, I think Kablam showed that. I could be wrong.
I'm gonna have to go research that because now I'm curious.
But you guys?
So I watched a bunch of different cartoons, a lot of Nickelodeon, not as much Disney. I did watch some Disney, but ones that pop out to me.
I wasn't rich enough for Disney for a while.
Yeah,
Same.
I feel that. Fairly Odd Parents.
That's gonna be an interesting.
Jimmy Neutron.
Yes.
Magic School Bus.
Oh yeah, dude, I used to dig
Magic
that
School
shit.
Bus
How-
was pretty cool.
How
Actually
the hell did I
was.
forget about that show?
I know. They used to travel
Reading
inside.
Rainbow.
Reading
Reading the rainbow.
They used to shrink the bus and go inside a human. Like, what the hell is going on?
That'd be
here?
cool, dude. That'd
like-
be cool as fuck.
It's like they. It's like they were like, "Hey, let's get high, but not tell anybody we're high, and make a kids' cartoon out of this fucking idea." But no,
there's one show that I can think of that's something kind of like that. It's like a puppet show, and somehow I'm forgetting the name of it, but it is hands down one of the most disgusting shows I've ever seen. And I swear up and down, whoever created it had to have been high.
Are you talking about which one are you talking about?
It was about these two kids that were working at a fast food restaurant, and they were like teenagers. So some of the episodes
were they puppets?
Yes.
Mr. Meaty.
Oh my God, that's it, Mr.
my
Meaty.
God.
Mr. Meaty.
I thought you were gonna say crate yankers.
Ooh.
That's puppets too.
Yes, it is, and that's actually like one of my favorite shows.
Sesame Street. Imagine that going bad.
I just seen Big Bird kick down a door.
I'm gonna fuck you.
I remember Mr. Meaty. I was a little bit older when that came out, but that is the most disturbing puppets I've ever
Have you
seen.
guys ever seen the Facebook memes about like people like ruining childhood by
Yes.
like Bert
Yes.
and Ernie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you seen that? Oh my God, they're like some of my
Donald Duck
honest
cussing.
movie trailers. Is that what it's called?
honest movie trails. Yes, but there was like these like little like pictures of like Bert and Ernie doing something, but they ruin. But like there's like a caption below it that ruins what they're actually doing. I can't say anything because some of it's fucked up, but it's fucking to me like I'm weird like that. I love that like messed up humor. And Allie, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, you're like looking off to the side. I'm like,
No, I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite honest movie trailer is the Lion King one. They fucked that movie up. Have you seen that one? Have you seen that one?
I don't know if I've seen the Lion
They
King
made
one or not.
fucking remixes to their songs and everything.
Oh, shit.
I went through trauma at a very young age. They just killed my dad. Forget all that. An African catchphrase. And then there's one that's I just can't wait till dad dies. Technically, that's what he's saying, because when dad dies, he's king.
Holy
if you think
shit.
about it, if you really think about it, that's what he's saying.
That's
He doesn't
what-
mean it that way, but that's what he's saying.
I mean, the whole movie's basically animal version of Hamlet.
Yeah. What if I could come up with a conspiracy theory right now. What if he was working with Scar and maybe he wanted to be king a little sooner? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's also there was a someone like recently found out like if you watch the original Lion King, like the 90s version, like the animated version, no one knows what happens to Mufasa's body after he dies.
That's
right?
true. I never thought about that.
So someone on TikTok realized if you watch the movie, at one point there's a skeleton inside Scars. Scars.
Scar.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I can't talk today. Apparently.
You're good.
But there's a skeleton inside of Scar's cave. That's,
Yeah.
That's holding
Iago.
no.
Not Iago. That's from Aladdin, isn't it?
It's Rowan Atkinson.
Zazu.
Zazu. I kept on thinking Pazuzu, but that's fucking Exorcist.
Zuzu.
But also, you see that Scar's holding a skull, and this guy realized the skull he's holding is anatomically correct version of a lion's skull. So people the guy's like, did Scar just eat Mufasa?
That's what I was just.
And
That's
then
where I
he's-
went.
And but then this guy started doing like a deep dive and found out that when a lion dies, scavengers come out. And guess what a scavenger is? A hyena.
Yeah.
So lions also are scavengers.
that one fucked up hyena was eating their own fucking wrist.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, slobbering all over the fucking area.
That's like I saw a TikTok where somebody pointed out that there's always like little hidden things in other Disney movies. So like, I think it's Hercules. Because they always talk about Scar getting turned into a rug. He'd
make a nice throw. Yeah.
He's a rug in Hercules.
Yep. Well, it was just like a little Easter egg, I think, is what it was.
Yeah,
like a
that's
little
what
like
they
nod. I think my favorite thing about Lion King though was that I'm trying to think of the best way of saying, like, it's weird to talk about, but when, see, I gotta figure out how to say this. So there was 2 movies being made at the same time. Around that time was Pocahontas and Lion King. At the time, Disney, like the company Disney, was focused on trying to make these historically accurate movies based on these events, like Pocahontas. Pocahontas was a real life woman. I'm going to say historically accurate in fucking quotations because if you look up the story of Pocahontas, it's not Disney friendly.
Right.
It is like not.
So they turned it into one.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is that, and this is something that's actually been confirmed by some of the animators, is that say one of the animators on Pocahontas does something that the animation director doesn't like, and is like failing every time. He's not making his deadlines. What they did was they took him off of Pocahontas and put him on Lion King, because they thought that Lion King wasn't going to do as well. They thought Lion King was just going to be like a throwaway movie.
Boy, were they wrong.
Yeah, come to find out, Lion King did so much better than Pocahontas.
It's like a low budget movie, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
I think also it was the same thing with a topic that me and you would be talking about in an episode, Shrek.
Shrek would have been a totally different movie had things gone differently.
I was just showing them.
Yeah,
that
that was crazy.
the whole thing
That
about
was
Chris
pretty cool.
Farley
The whole
actually being
vibe was-
Shrek. Yeah, it's insane. Like, so for a while, this literally just happened like not too long ago. There's been this. There's an idea that there's a test footage of the actual of the animation that was going to happen in the original Shrek, but it was lost. Nobody could find it forever. And there's been like little snippets that have been found, and someone actually found like almost half of this little like demo reel. And it's actually, to me, that is like one of my favorite movies, and trust me, when I get to that episode, it's going to be a crazy episode, because just the amount of stuff that happened in that movie is insane. Like how it was originally supposed to be a Disney movie, Disney passed on it. The guy who wrote it was like, screw it, I'm taking it to somebody else. Took it to DreamWorks. They made it. And the rest is history.
Right.
Chris Farley was supposed to be the original voice actor. Did 75% of his lines. Sadly died. Then they brought in Mike Myers. Is it Michael Myers or Mike Myers?
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers. Okay.
Mike Myers, yeah, there's a difference.
There's a difference.
They're both kind of fucked up humans, but one's a little bit more. One acts on it.
Although now that I've seen so many movies with Mike Myers in it, every time Shrek talks, all I hear is fat bastard.
Oh my god.
True. Yeah.
That is true.
Did I say humans? I meant ogre human.
Ogre.
/ humans. Because he's a humanized ogre.
So what's your favorite cartoon then?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob?
Honestly.
God, it's gonna be an episode.
I'm okay.
I
yeah,
binged the
that
fuck
one's a
out of
good one.
that.
I didn't really like. I legitimately, honestly, I forgot. That's what the start of all that was. What was your favorite show?
I was waiting. That's why I answered so fast. I've been waiting. God damn it. Circle around back to me. God damn it. No, I'm kidding.
And Fry.
But, now it's on to me. It's tough. I'd probably say Gargoyles.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's actually a
something.
very good
That's
one.
a throwback right there.
Yeah. Definitely.
That actually makes me want to go home and watch it on Disney.
Or
Plus now.
Darkwing Duck.
Let's pause this and then we'll come back. We'll tell
Yeah.
people what you thought of it.
Well, because so one of the other things about me doing this show or this little podcast is that one of the other things I'm wanting to do. I'm kind of toying with the idea is possibly doing a watch party. Where I've like, let's say it's like a Disney show like Gargoyle or Darkwing Duck. What I would like to do is actually get on Twitch, and they have this stuff called watch parties, where it's basically you and your audience watching along with the show or watching along with the movie. And it's the audience communicating with you, laughing with you, like tipping you, whatever.
Yep.
And
That's the most important part, right?
yes, the money, yes.
We're mercenaries around here. No.
You should maybe as like an idea, maybe like if you ask enough people what their favorite cartoons are, maybe you can do an episode on maybe cartoons that most have forgotten about. as an idea. You know what I mean? Because
Or-
he said gargoyles, and man, I haven't watched gargoyles in ages.
The Long
Now
Lost
I'm like,
Tunes.
oh, I want
That's
to watch
your,
that
That's
now.
your episode name. Long Lost Tunes.
There you go. Yeah. Because I was sitting here thinking,
You know, that kind of reminds me. There's like an idea. There's also another idea of mine of if I ever set up a Patreon account, have my patrons create a list of like, let's say three cartoons that I'd be interested in doing an episode about, and then having them like vote on what they want to do, like what they want to see. Be kind of
Did
fascinating.
it again.
I can't help it.
I bet. I don't know if they will actually hear that unless they're actually paying attention. But I can.
I can hear it,
because
but
I got
I don't
headphones
know.
on.
See, I can hear it, but I don't know if it's like me just hearing it, like just kind of shaking up here, or if it's
Yeah.
actually just like the audio.
No, it's
straight up
definitely.
on.
I can hear it.
Shit happens, my guy.
No, I just think I'm not complaining. I think it's fucking hilarious. I'm gonna turn that part up. Just
Go to bed.
can I?
It's just like a little tick in my mind. I don't like to do it.
Yeah, you just go to sleep while we just talk amongst ourselves while
That'd be
you're
just
sleeping.
hilarious.
I mean, honestly, dude, you could because you're not on any camera.
you could be letting just.
I'm gonna trade with Nathan, kick his ass off his chair. It's my half the show, bitch.
so
It's my half. I'm
so
taking
laying
my-
down, just relaxing.
One eternity later.
We're all just passed out.
And speaking of
It's like snap
SpongeBob,
time.
Skeleton.
Intermission.
Yeah.
we kind of did that last time.
Yeah, we did talk about SpongeBob for a while, right?
No, I mean that, but intermission kind of.
Oh yeah. Because I think at the time I was hungry. I was like,
well, I mean, we went for
starving.
fucking 2 hours, so
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to rehash what happened?
I mean, go for it, dude.
So we did the episode, and it was 5 hours?
Yes.
Or 3 hours?
5 hours, 28 minutes,
5 hours and 28
something
minutes.
like that. Something like that.
All
And-
together, yeah.
We get everything I leave. It's late at night, something like
We all
that.
felt so good.
We all felt amazing. We talked about a lot of shit. I talked about some personal stuff that was going
Yeah.
on in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, a couple of days later, I get a message. I don't know if it's from you or
Yeah,
from
it was
Allie.
Me.
Hey, we might have to redo all that.
Fucked up.
I was like, what happened? The audio got corrupted.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Real. I blame Allie since she was running the shit. No, I'm kidding. No, it was definitely my fault.
I was going to say, come to find out it was you who did it.
I did it on purpose. Obviously, I wanted that to happen.
What?
We wore our tuxedos. Came
What?
in like stepbrothers. Came in like stepbrothers.
We're here to fuck shit
I'm
up.
here to fuck shit up.
I was wearing my bow tie that day, I guess. No, that was really upsetting because
Yeah,
it
'cause-
was so good.
It was.
It was so
Because, I
good.
mean, I talked about like I said, I talked about some serious shit that happened in my life.
serious deep shit.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler and I would have to trade spots this time if we get into serious shit because I was crying.
You
I
were
was like,
legit,
oh
yeah.
my God.
I honestly, so afterwards, like when you told me that I got corrupted, I was like, maybe that might be a good thing.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. I was like, I wonder if that happened for a reason. Maybe there was something that he may not have wanted. Like he would have rethought later. Like shit, I shouldn't have said that. Because we went so long, and it was almost like a lot of the time I forgot that we were. I mean, obviously we knew we were recording the whole time, but it's just we were so deep into what we were talking about.
Right,
It's like,
yeah.
Just forget that you're recording.
And I mean, one of the things I did say during that episode was the fact that I'm a very honest person. I'm very open.
Mm-hmm.
If I trust somebody, if I talk to somebody, and I like you guys, I'm very open about how I'm feeling and the things that happen in my life because I'm the type of person I'd much rather you know this rather than sit there and not know me at all.
Right.
Right.
So when it comes to me, you basically get almost the whole package.
Yeah, same here.
Yep.
I don't hold nothing back.
And like
Like,
I was
take
saying,
it or
I'm
leave it.
not as
Pretty much.
upset because we did get a chance to get to know you a little bit, and like I said, maybe it wasn't for the people to know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But hell, you could have split that up into a mini episode.
Oh my God, yeah.
5 episodes at least, hour each.
There you go.
We would have been set for good.
For a while.
Yeah, not for good.
And whoever's in charge of everything was like, yeah,
Maybe
you
5
know
weeks
what?
worth.
Like,
We would have been
Delete.
set for the whole time we were off.
True, that'd been 5 weeks worth.
Yeah. No, really?
Duh.
That's crazy, dude. I can't believe you figured
Planet
that out
Earth
so
is
fast.
calling you, you fuck.
Planet Earth is calling you.
Man, you should
Stupid.
Just cut this shit
I'm
out
on
now.
planet Earth. What?
know.
How is my Earth calling me? Moving on.
Exactly.
See, I don't normally I don't call it planet Earth. I call it disc Earth. Because I mean, you know, like,
Disc Earth.
yeah, I mean, because you know, it's flat.
Flat Earth.
It's
Okay.
flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I proved that theory.
It's the fat Earth. That's what
To all
it
you
is.
round eyes.
Oh my God.
To all you rounders out there. Think it's
Yeah.
round.
You
it's
round?
flat.
Are you crazy round Earthers?
Yeah.
Fucks.
So the Earth's a twig, bitch. She ain't thick.
She ain't thick.
Nope.
Aw.
I think the Earth is a ring. God damn it.
A ring.
The Earth is Saturn's rings.
Well, are you saying that Earth is Halo?
Yes. It can be.
That'd be cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of
I can't think of the rest of
immediately. Oh, I don't know either.
Oh.
No, did you ever see that video?
I know. American Auto Hero.
You ever seen that
And there's
video?
the peak.
Have you ever seen a video of the guy, I'm assuming it's a dude, he was in a bathroom and it was like great acoustics and he sung that song in the bathroom.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
great.
I've seen a couple of
It's a
videos
public
where people
bathroom.
have done that. There's another one that a guy started singing it in a restroom, and groups of guys were coming out of the stall singing
Yes.
with him in a chorus.
Oh, shit.
But it sounded really good.
Oh, no. That's it. That's gonna get caught. The reason why I stopped is, the reason why I stopped is because it was so good that I felt like they would copyright us because it sounded so accurate.
No. Stop that. Stop that.
Is
No
that
singing.
is
No
that the
singing.
real-
Copyright infringement.
She.
Because it sounded so good that
Allie. No singing. No singing.
No,
none,
none.
not one,
Calm
not
down,
one.
Amy Lee.
not one note.
No.
Come on the show.
Who?
Amy Lee. Evanescence.
Hell yeah,
I would
Evanescence.
die. I would die.
I'd lose my shit.
See,
Oh
that was another
Oh, yeah.
reason I was upset selfishly because I
That'd
was
be
like,
the dumbass. Be like, you still Jonathan Davis?
my god. Yes.
I was on fire on that episode. Dude.
Oh my god. Because that was the other thing we lost is that we had Allie and I did a medal list.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Or they had the medal
Bracket.
bracket.
Yes.
And I actually really enjoyed that. That was really cool.
That was my yeah.
I mean,
Evanescence.
technically we could do it again, but I got a feeling you guys probably like, no, I think we're good.
Yeah, it would take too much to do it. But I don't even know if I could get that bracket back. Like, I might be just gone forever. Like, I don't even know. Yeah, honestly, I could probably like undelete I haven't deleted it permanently. I just put it in my recycle bin, so I could probably get that episode and like take a screenshot of when you
yeah.
guys finished it.
So it was the audio that got corrupted.
Yes.
It wasn't the video.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it was the audio, I'd be like, fuck it. I'll just audio only. I don't give a fuck.
Well, we can just record over that. We can just record over the 5 hours.
Yes.
Subtitles.
Try to remember exactly what we said. and,
So in this moment, I was talking about
could you imagine doing a fucking watch along with
we were
your
talking
own
about
fucking-
penises.
talking about this dick.
Pop off
Kyle.
a piece of my dick. And in this moment, you can't see me on the film, but I'm back there crying as they're talking about dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I started talking about dick.
She was dying.
Dick.
And then he started talking
She
about
was
emotional shit. And she
DED
started
dead.
crying for real.
Yeah. I think we both started crying a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
I started tearing up a little bit. I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I did not mean to make Allie cry. I'm like, oh no.
I can't help it. I was like, oh, I'm so sad. It's so sweet.
Have you ever seen Wild Hogs?
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
been a while.
You remember at the very end, spoiler alert, that dude got a beard hair in my mouth.
Hot.
Yeah, great. The bad the say hi
Remix.
Bet it out, son.
the bad biker
Yes.
at the very end. He was on
Man.
Extreme Makeover. And he was like crying.
Oh.
He did that shit. He's like this big bad motherfucker, like
And he's sitting there
an
just a
asshole, and then it's fucking great.
I don't know. I've always been the type of person that I think. Honestly, I think talking about your emotions and talking about certain things that happen in your life is probably the manliest fucking thing that I've ever seen. Being open about like what's been going on. Like shouldn't be like, no, I'm a man. Like I'm not going to talk about how I feel.
I don't make you a man.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because you're just closing yourself off. You just
It's what we're
I'm that
supposed
person
to do.
Yeah, I'm the type of person.
But we're not.
Screw it. Like I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to tell you if I'm pissed off. I'm going to tell you if I'm sad. I'm going to tell you if I'm going through depression.
Right.
Because guess what? That's what I'm going through.
Yep. Well, something I've said before is people think being a man is going through shit alone and not asking for help. Actually, it's actually more manly to swallow your fucking pride and ask for help if you need it.
Well, something that I learned during that time in my life, during that dark time, the fact that it's kind of a bad thing to not ask for help.
Yeah. Right. Drowning. And
yeah, because you're. Yeah.
There's a guy right there, but you're too fucking stupid to fucking stubborn.
Right.
Stubborn, stupid. They're all.
I guess if you guys want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
What?
I mean, about what I was talking about.
What?
Basically, that episode I talked about, like I was going through some serious shit in my life, for like 2 years of my life, and went through depression, like serious case of depression, and like you were just talking about, as men, we tend to try not to talk about our emotions. Mm-hmm. We tend to try and just drown it out or do whatever. In reality, if you do something like that, what happens is what happened to me. I'm alone. I don't have nobody at my apartment, so I don't have anybody to talk to. I got to a point in my life where I legitimately was at rock bottom in my emotions, and I was just like, I'm fucking ready for everything to stop. That's because I wasn't saying anything to anybody.
Right.
And then
exactly.
Yeah, and then I started talking to I talked to my sister, and I told her what was going on, and we sat there and started talking. She started inviting me over to her house with her family, and I started getting better. I think I talked about on that last episode, when it comes to depression, I called a well, because that's basically what it is. And I'm actually about to be a very smart person, because this is probably the best way of explaining depression to somebody.
Yes.
Depression is a well, because it's let's say you live out in the country and you have a well to get your water. You know that well is there. You know it's dangerous. You know if you get close to it, you're going to fall in. Throughout your life, you might slowly, depending on you might be sprinting towards that well, or you might be just slowly inching your way. So you might never see that well or whatever. When someone has depression, you're slowly going to that well. You just don't know it until something happens, and then you're at that well, looking down into it. And then, in my case, I had a death in my family that basically I was pushed into that well. Mm. And I fell down maybe about a quarter of the way. Kind of caught myself. I'm okay. Like, I can get out of this. Started crawling back up. Lost my mom. Immediately hit rock bottom. Lost myself. Lost everything. I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't get out of this well. There are ways to get out of that well. You can ask for help. Someone throws that rope down to you, and you can climb out. It's the easiest way to do it. Asking for help. Or you can try and be someone that wants to do it by yourself. It can work, but it is difficult to climb out that well by yourself. So that's how I've always looked at it, is that it's just a well. It's a well that sometimes people just, when you hit that rock bottom, there's those people who just don't see that exit. They don't see that way of getting out. They don't see that they have the strength to get out. They don't see the people that need they don't have anybody up there with a rope to throw down to help them. And they lead to them doing something that, a lot of people, especially in my family, have dealt with. Which is something that I don't want to talk about because, it's just, yeah.
That's
understandable.
I'm sorry.
No,
you good? You good?
You're good.
I was thinking on that. Like, that's the crazy part of depression because, like, especially when you're that deep in it, your brain literally tells you that you have no one. When you really might
Yeah.
have a good support system, but your brain has, or at least my brain does that to me if I get in a hole. Like, it convinces me, you put yourself there, you can figure it out, you can get out by yourself. You don't need anybody. You've got it, and
Yes.
you really don't. And then, like, Tyler said, that pride sets in. Like, you don't want to admit that there's something
don't-
wrong.
yes.
You don't want to look weak. You don't want to look like with my family.
And then you
like,
start to
look,
feel
you look like a
ashamed,
baby
too.
or something. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
you start feeling guilt. So yeah, the well theory. Yeah, absolutely. That's.
I mean, there's also like other theories I've heard that like the whole. I just had it in my head because I was just thinking about it. That it's not exactly a theory. It's actually a really good way of explaining depression and anxiety. Anxiety is worrying about the future. Depression is worrying about the past.
Yep.
Am I in purgatory if I experience both at the same time?
Probably.
It's called multitasking.
I'm in
Let's go multitasking.
multitask. I'm in a canoe, just going
mean,
through
yeah, I mean-
purgatory.
Say multitax. Yes, it's taxing too.
As weird, I was going to say, as weird as it sounds, they're honestly, to me, I've always considered both of them the same thing. Because I have
They
anxiety.
work together. Yes.
Yeah, they work in
They work
conjunction
hand,
with each
they
other.
work hand in hand.
That's the
yeah.
Here's the thing though. The depression is lying to you. That's what causes the anxiety because you give in to the depression.
Yes,
Ang-
because and that was. I'm sorry.
Or I mean, you give into the anxiety, and then the anxiety that you gave into, you lose your confidence in yourself because you gave into something.
Yeah,
And
and
that's where depression comes.
as cliche as this is, and I'm sure you guys might have heard of this, inside your head there's two voices. It's the whole idea of the angel and the demon.
Yeah.
Right. Good and
So
bad.
you have the good side of your mind, you have the bad side of your mind. You have the side of your mind that's going to sit there and tell you you're doing a great thing, you're doing a great job, you love your life, you love your family, all these different things. You have the other side saying all the opposites.
Right.
Your life sucks, you suck, all these different things, and depression in a way is giving into those negative thoughts.
I was just
Yep.
thinking, like,
Because then those voices start to get louder and louder and louder
Yeah.
and louder and start to drown out the good voice, and that's kind of what happened with
It
me.
takes 10 good voices to drown out one bad one.
Yes.
I was just thinking with like anxiety. With me personally, anxiety like almost feels like an unnecessary fear that's just kind
Yeah.
of sitting in your chest.
That's exactly it.
Like you're afraid of like unnecessary things, or you're
So
expecting things to happen that aren't going to happen. So to me, anxiety is almost like fear.
An unnecessary. You're right.
So
You know what I mean?
So it's funny that you bring that up because we were just talking. I was just showing you guys a show that I watch I listen to called Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. It's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Like if you guys can't tell, I'm fascinated by by mental health and mental wellness stuff like that. And that's all this is basically about. It's Michael Rosenbaum from Lex Luthor's Smallville's Lex Luthor, interviewing all his friends and these like other actors who are going through who went through like some serious stuff and how they were able to get over it, how they were able to get past it. And it's also a very funny, very informative show. But it's funny that you're talking about that because one of the episodes I was just talking about, they kind of brought that up about can you remind me what you were saying?
Dude, that happens to me at least.
I got to a tangent. I'm like,
I said anxiety kind of like you guys were talking about how it goes hand in hand with depression, and when I deal with it, it almost feels like it goes hand in hand with fear.
Yes.
It feels like you're afraid
Okay.
of that next step.
So one of the things I found out while listening to that is that depression, anxiety, I've always thought that was like a modern day issue. That anxiety and depression just came out of the blue, just were like created like during the modern times within our own like minds. Found out it's actually it's a survival. It's almost like a fight or flight. It's your body saying like you're going through some stuff. It's the reason why if you have depression, you don't want to get out of bed. You want to stay in a place of comfort until these bad thoughts, until this bad feeling goes away, and then you start to feel safer enough to go outside.
Yeah.
Right.
And then for me, well, not for me, but the way I think of it is, I think some people stay in for so long that they then have anxiety about going outside because they're not used to going out there. You know what I
That's
mean?
the double-edged sword of it, though.
Yep.
And that's the reason why it took me a long time to finally like get out and go see my sister and my family and my friends and start getting into theater again and start doing the things that I enjoyed. And then once I started doing that, those negative voices that I was hearing started to fade away, and then those positive voices started kicking in and started getting louder and louder until I got to a point where I'm like, I'm good.
Yep. It's funny because, well, it's not funny, but when you were here when we were talking about this originally, I was going through
Yeah,
that,
stop doing that.
hardcore. Like, nobody has any
Really?
idea. Yeah. Nobody has any idea. Because I'm the opposite of what you were saying. I just don't bother people. Like, I can handle stuff myself.
Yeah.
But like, I'll talk to certain people, but most of the time it's just me. I need to work shit out with myself. Like, I don't need to tell anybody, because if I already am working on, most of the time when something happens or something sets me back, I'm immediately thinking of how can I fix this, not, oh, boo-hoo me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So talking to somebody about what I'm already brainstorming. There's no reason to really, because venting helps sometimes, but I'm not one of those people that like cries often at all. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I cried about anything, because it just doesn't do anything for me. It's not like I hold it in. That's just, it would honestly take me more energy to cry than it would to not cry.
Right.
I'm the ball baby
So.
in the room. Like, I am. I'm the crier.
I'm gonna say I'm probably like right behind you on that though, because honestly, I was kind of like you for a little bit, you know, trying to hold anything back, like I'm fine. Then finally, when I was finally realized what was going on, I finally started to actually open up. That's when I was able to start kind of crying and grieving and stuff like that. Because I mean, I'll be honest, the episode that we did, my mom died. My Italian grandmother died. My mom died. Then my grandmother died, all within a span of, I said 1 year. Actually, I looked it up. It was within 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So my nana died in June of 2019. My mom died June of 2020.
One of those in 10 years is good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if it's within a year of each other,
Yeah.
they die, and they're like those
Important people too. They're staples of who you
staples
are.
of your life, pillars of your life.
Yeah.
That's what I've always called them. They're the pillars. They're the ones that got me in. My nan's the one that got me into theater. She's the one that was like, you know, there's this company out there called the Shelby County Players. You should go out and play for them. By the way, I just found out they're doing a new play.
Cinderella.
Yep.
I looked at it, but I told myself I have to have
who's
a break.
directing it?
I don't know. I think
Don't tell me. Owens.
Danielle.
Danielle? Mm-hmm. I might audition. I don't know.
Spamalot took a lot out of me, so I told myself I'm just gonna chill for a little bit because I don't want to burn myself out on a passion. So I might pass on this one and go watch it.
But like I said, my nana brought me into Shelby County Players, and then from there I started doing theater for the Tree County Players, and did Rumors, and had this amazing, phenomenal, hilarious cast, including Allie over here, and we worked so well with each other. My mom, I really wish you had met her, because she was probably one of the. Oh, it's hard for me to talk about this, but I feel like I need to talk about it. My mom was the nicest, sweetest, most stubborn ladies I have ever met in my entire fucking life. But the other thing she was, and my brother summed it up so well during his little talking about it at a funeral. She was the toughest person I've ever met. The way I've always said is that life dealt her a horrible hand, and she did the best with it. She was diagnosed with brain cancer. She was able to get out of it. She was able to get treated, but because of the treatment, it was radiation treatment. That causes brain scar tissue to develop inside her brain. Later on, she started having seizures. The seizures led to her essentially fading from us at a slow pace. So at one point, she was talkative, she was stubborn, she was a smart ass. She was all, basically, if you ever talk to me, I'm a smart ass. I get it from her. But she went from that, she had this very serious seizure to a point where it paralyzed one side of her body. And she went from being able to walk and talk to having issues walking and talking. Like, she could still move and she could still talk. It was just kind of difficult. A couple months later, it was hard for her to do both. A couple months later, she could barely do anything. She had to be pushed around a wheelchair until it led to a point when sadly, she couldn't talk or walk at all. She was bedridden. And that was the toughest thing I've ever had to go through, was that process of watching her just essentially fade in front of me. And I think that was the moment that you started crying, because I started crying too. But she taught me just life sucks. It does. But you got to do the best you can do to make it better.
Right.
Yep.
Whatever hand you have, do the best you can to make sure that hand is the best. Just make the best of that hand as you can.
Yep.
My mama, which was her mom, again, smart ass. Probably one of the most amazing ladies in my life. She was very funny. Huge fan of Elvis. I think she taught me just to love life. Because again, she lived in the same house she had the same house for 70 years. It's still standing. I don't want to get too much into it because there's certain things happening in my own personal life with that side of my family, and it honestly pisses me off to talk about it. But suffice it to say, her death kind of destroyed me, because I was actually got the call from my brother Vinny saying, "Hey, Mama's in the hospital. I don't know if she's gonna make it." As soon as I got that call, I left work, started driving to, I think it's like a 40-minute drive to go to the hospital she was at. 10 minutes into it, my brother calls me back. I'm like, "Hey man, I'm on the way. I got 30 minutes. He goes, "Take your time. She just passed." Worst 30-minute drive I ever had. Because I still went over there and, just was there with my family. Just, just kind of talking. But with all that being said, I'm still trying to make the best of my life to the best that I can. Yes, I lost a job that was probably one of my favorite jobs I ever had, the most I've ever been paid. But now I have a job that I kind of enjoy. I'm trying to do something with my life that I want to do, that I'm genuinely. I came to the realization slowly that I hate factory work, because
Amen.
it's basically high school for 50-year-olds.
Absolutely.
You literally just fucking hit the nail on the head, dude.
I'm
Summed it
currently
up.
living that dream. Yeah.
And
yeah.
then
You want to do something that makes you happy.
yes,
Now you
and
don't
then
have to do the 9 to 5 bullshit.
Yes. Or right now I'm working for a service company.
Right.
Which is cool and all. I like it. I work for, I'll say it right now, I work for Invisible Fence. I've been there for a week or, not a week or two, a month or two. I enjoy it because I love dogs. I genuinely love dogs. So every time I go to a customer's house, they have a dog that just is the most happy, friendly animal, just wants to say hi. But at the same time, as much as I like doing that, because at one point I'm going to be working by myself, I'm still dealing with stupid shit.
Right.
Still dealing with the customer service, or dealing with a customer who's irate, which I'm okay with those types of people. I'm very calm. I'm very rational when it comes to those people. I've actually talked down a couple of people who wanted to fucking kill me because I had to cancel a service because of customer service, because because they messed up the order. It wasn't right, and I couldn't do anything because I can't sit there and fix the order.
Right.
But just slowly coming to this realization that maybe it's just that I want to work by myself and do something that I want to do. So, a podcast. I listen to podcasts all the time. Like I just said, I listen to that Michael Rose. I listen to Inside of You, which honestly, if any of you listeners are listening to me right now, if you're interested in mental health and stuff like that, or interested in like just that type of conversation, give it a listen. Listen to any of those episodes. I will say that specifically one would be the most recent Zach Levi episode, because it straight up brought me to tears. I just showed these two guys. It is very difficult to watch, but it's also very cathartic to watch. I mean, but I'll listen to stuff like that, and then I'll listen to something like my shirt is Chilluminati, which is the podcast is all about like conspiracy theories and monsters and ghost stories and aliens, and it's basically just three potheads talking about it. And it is probably one of the funniest things in the world, listening to them like talk about like chupacabras and Mothman, and they're doing an episode like that just yesterday. They released it. It's called the Coronado Hotel or something like that. It was it's a hotel that was being rented out for like a UFO conference, and I guess basically every person inside this hotel had some experience at that night during that conference, had some experience with aliens while staying at that hotel. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like
That's one of them that I need to check out. Pardon me, I'm going to go to the restroom. I'm sure you all wanted to know about that.
I'm following you.
Don't fall in.
In other words, I'm going
Right
after
on the
you.
wall.
have a good one. Grab the camera.
Grab the cordless cam.
Yeah, you have the other one.
What you doing in there?
Yeah. No.
Okay, good. We're good. I'm not weird, I swear.
Wink.
Jesus.
Jesus.
But-
Girls, now calm down.
Yeah,
what
going back to the depression thing though, like, fuck. Yeah, I struggled with that for a good year. Like, I worked with her company, and up until September of last year, I believe, so almost a year ago, and I quit that job, and I had a bunch of money saved up, and I took some time off, and I did mostly this. Like, I said all this, like, all this is in existence because of the time that I took off.
You're welcome.
So,
I'm serious. Like, I'm not saying that to be an asshole, but he came over to my house like, bro, why don't we talked about it for a while about starting one, but we never started it. You know how they say better late than, or never late than sorry or something like that?
Better late than never.
better
Yeah,
late than
whatever.
never. Yeah.
But instead of just talking about it.
Yeah, see, I have a guy on my
do it.
I have a
Shut
guy
up.
on my show that can't talk, that talks for a living. What the fuck?
And have a dumbass who can't think of shit.
I ain't now. Don't be poking. But
yeah, we talked about it, and we was like, let's actually do this, dude. I pushed him like, come on, let's do this. Let's do this.
yep.
Then we talked and came up with the name on the fly with Martin and Fry, but I said Martin and Fry show, and then that's when he came up with, how about On the Fly with Martin and Fry? I was like, hell yeah, dude.
It's a rhyme. It's play on
Yeah.
our names.
And then
I actually really like
It
that
opens
name,
up
too.
the opportunity for us to literally talk about whatever the fuck we want to, because it's on the fly. It's
Yeah. I mean, like,
different. It's
off the
different.
cuff.
Right.
It's
So-
it's the perfect name for what you guys do. And it's
Right.
kind of like with me, like, know your tunes, just perfect.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
It sounds right, and it sounds like you know exactly what you're getting into.
It's not-
You're gonna have an advantage over us too, because yours is a centered in topic. Ours is
Right,
not.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have not probably yet found an audience that likes us, because we have such a broad spectrum of
But that's
topic.
what I like about
topic
it,
of conversation.
because it ain't just about politics and this and that and that and that. And it's about everything.
We can get into that though.
It's just you guys just talking about shit. That's all it is.
Right.
And
Two good
that's
friends
actually a
talking.
really cool idea. Like, it's like a really like. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just a very like really cool idea of like just having an episode or a podcast where it's just you and your best friend,
Mm-hmm.
just sitting there talking shit to each other or talking about stupid shit.
Yep.
Well, then that allows like their audience to get to know them on somewhat of like a personal level,
Yeah.
Right.
because you're actually seeing them the way we see them,
Right.
them just goofing off, having a good time or whatever. So I think it's a
Exactly.
Yeah,
unique
and that's
idea.
and that's
that's-
honestly that's the reason why I'm so excited for the episode with my brother, because I'm still not going to say what the episode is about, but what I will say is that it's an episode that I think we're both going to love. I think if I have a good audience at the time, I think the audience is going to love it, because my brother and I, we click so well with each other. Like, he's one of my good friends, and we'll sit there and just shoot shit with each other, talk shit to each other. But we're like good like good friends though.
Right.
And I'm so excited to do that episode, because I genuinely like, not only is the topic going to be good, but I know just the chemistry between me and him is gonna be comedy gold.
Yeah. Yep. I was gonna
Basically,
ask
same
if
here.
you were gonna do it with somebody or do it by yourself.
So I've been trying to figure that out.
I mean, do what you? I think you'll be fine, but
'Cause
it's so awkward to talk by yourself.
It is.
I've tried
Actually,
it.
me recording the introduction, like the tiny like little 1
Yes.
minute snippet thing, that was weird, because I did like four or five takes.
It's so hard to be yourself when there's nobody there.
Yes,
Because
and that's the reason why-
look at them and talk.
and that's
to
also
them.
one of the reasons why I
Look at
want to
the
do
camera.
the like having a guest, and I'll need to figure out. I might need to buy another mic in order to do it, because I only have one right now.
Yeah.
But having that guest, it kind of breaks it up, because I'll go from those episodes where it's just me talking about Rugrats or talking about this, and it's just me kind of just going through the history. I might go on a tangent every once in a while, but it's just going to be me. But when I get to like me and Allie, or one of you guys, or my brother, or Eric,
Yeah.
I think when it gets to that, it's going to be interesting, because now I have someone I can kind of riff. I wouldn't say riff off of, but I can have someone to bounce ideas off of and have them,
relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's basically
or be
how-
like, did you know this about your favorite movie? No, I didn't know that.
right.
Like, oh, that's actually kind of cool.
I would love to do something. I don't know if it'd be a podcast necessarily, but I would love to do something. But it's like almost like having a writer's block. I wouldn't know what to do creatively to catch an audience's attention.
Just do
Like,
something. Just do it.
ADHD is strong in this one, so like I feel like
OnlyFans.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Start selling bathwater.
Oh
Start farting into jars or something like that.
That's a real thing.
What, my sweaty socks?
No, but
No, actually, you know what? Funnily enough, there is actually a girl who does that.
no,
Like,
there is.
I know her name too, and I'm not going to say it. All I will say is that she's not bad looking.
I don't know.
they don't
I had
smell
a
too bad.
coworker-
It's like I purchased.
My stank ass
Smell a
underwear.
little fruity.
There, like one of the girls that.
I think she had avocados that day.
Oh,
Oh.
No, there's a girl at work that told me
I quit.
that her best friend sells her used panties and makes like $1,000 a week off of it.
Yeah. Dude, it's insane.
And I'm like, what the hell am I doing with my life right now? And she's like, well, just sell your
That's
damn
why
underwear. I'm
women
like,
are
I
so
can't
lucky.
do that.
You're so
I can't do it.
freaking.
I'm going to run out of
thirsty.
panties.
I was like, do you think they'll take feet? She's like, hell yeah, they will. I'm like, okay, that one's a little.
Don't kink shame. There's trust me, there's plenty of like interesting kinks out there. That's just
Oh, I'm not.
weird.
Oh, I'm not shaming
really
you.
weird.
I'm not shaming you as long as like, you know, it's legal or whatever. You like whatever you like, but
There is a kink where girls fart on cakes. I'm not even joking. There are videos of girls sitting on a cake and farting.
is
That's
it
it.
okay? I have questions. Is it for the sound?
Trust me, so did I.
Is it for the sound that it makes when it hits the cake? Is it for flavoring? Like, is
Ugh.
it
Oh.
just for how their ass looks when they get up? Like, is it all of it? I have questions.
Gordon Ramsay of fart cakes.
Welcome to Hell's Kitchen.
There's too much crack in this one. You're an idiot sandwich. can't. There's no.
I didn't
Where's
eat
the
any
lamb
corn.
sauce?
This
cake tastes like shit.
I was gonna say, speaking of Mike Myers, I didn't eat any corn.
A bit nutty.
Nothing.
Bit nutty. Jesus.
Dude, when we were in the play that I was in recently, everybody was talking in that accent. Like,
Just trying to stay in character.
like, it's like we would forget to shut it off, and we would just be walking around talking obnoxiously like that. It took me like a week and a half to stop just bloody well swell, ain't it? I had to quit because I was like, that is very offensive. Like, stop talking. Stop.
Go back to American, damn it. Telling yourself that. Like, English.
Well, I mean, I'm speaking English,
I
just
know.
obnoxiously.
Hello, good day.
Language of
Ling, ling.
obnoxiousness.
Yeah. Speaking pig Latin.
You say, "Ooh, yay, ay,
Pig Latin.
No, when you were okay, so looping back around to where you were talking about depression and anxiety and how we all kind of react to it differently or handle it differently, and I was sitting here saying, "Oh, I own up. I can be a crybaby." Like, I was thinking about how like mine's more of like a trauma response. Like, I was never really allowed to express myself when I was younger.
Kicked the piano if you didn't know.
That's what it sounded like.
Did I?
That was the.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're good. No, I just thought like I was never allowed to express myself growing up. So I've like bottled it in for a while, and then now that I'm an adult, it's almost like I don't know how to control it when it does come out. I know it's healthy to release it, but sometimes I'm a little like sometimes I feel like I look ridiculous when I'm over here going, ah! I'm just crying, and they're like, "You all right?" No.
Do I look okay?
Yeah, snot running, bubbles. Like it's not pretty. And I've actually had thoughts like I get guilty thoughts sometimes where I'm like, "Oh my God, you're making a scene. You look ridiculous right now. Get yourself together, girl. Clean yourself up. Quit
Stop
crying."
being such a Karen.
Yeah, stop. Yeah, stop being like that. You look like a baby. Quit. Like I didn't know if
Linda.
anybody else struggles with that or not, but I do. Like I'll get all upset, I'll start crying, and then I bash myself for crying. Like
I do it.
Stop it.
I've done that a couple times.
Like this ain't worth crying over. Stop.
See, I'm thankful for it, but and it's not always been this way, but I have a voice in my head that's always telling me, dude, don't lose your cool. It's not worth it. And 90% of the time, I don't lose my cool because it's not worth it 90% of the time.
Yeah, it's not.
That's
Like,
why
go ahead.
I'll say that's why I understand dudes like, why fist fight? Why punch somebody in the fucking face when it's not fucking worth it? Or go
I'll
to
tell you
jail?
why it's worth it. You want to go outside right now?
There's some
No.
people, yes, I'd love
You
to.
saying, huh?
What are you saying about you don't like violence?
I'm gonna go, bro.
You don't like violence, bitch?
Look at him, Jersey Shore.
You gonna talk like me? Are you gonna talk like that around me? Or you gonna talk like that to me around my friends? God damn it!
You know, stomp a mud hole.
Just said I don't lose my
Stomp a
cool,
mud
and then I.
No, but like what you were just saying is actually exactly what I was gonna say. Is that for a while I actually had this is not like anything secretive, especially if you knew me when I was in high school and middle school. Is I had a serious anger issue. Like, cannot control my anger. People would sit there and poke my buttons, and I would get in a fight. I'm serious, constantly.
I'm telling you right now, it's the sensitive triggers are the targets for people that want to do that shit
Yes.
too.
And
That's
so-
the thing. When you don't give a response to
If you don't give a shit, then they stop.
right.
And then that's the thing that I learned, and I'm so thankful for this guy, even though that I'm gonna say this because I don't know if he.
Sorry, I thought of something funny.
He probably will never hear this, but we had this principal when I was in high school. I can't remember his name, so I'm not going to say it. But he taught me a very valuable lesson of ignore them.
Yep.
Don't listen to whatever they're
Just
saying.
beat the shit out of all of them.
Just ignore them. And so I started doing that. And the reason why I'm not going to say his name is that he kind of got fired for texting some of the girls.
Oh.
I'm not going to say the name of the high school that I went to either, but suffice it to say, yeah, it was a very interesting school.
You don't say.
Out in the middle of BFE.
Hey.
But he just taught me to do that. And so when he said all that, I'm like, okay, let's try this. So the very next day, I had these bullies that would always sit there and mess with me. I just walked away from them. I kept walking away. And then one day, I'm sitting there walking down, and all of a sudden, I had like my books in my hand, and they just knocked it out of my hand. I just kind of looked at them, and just said, "Okay," and just kept walking. Got to my class, and like, "Where's your book at?" I was like, "Oh, it's in the hall." Apparently, so and so didn't want me to hold it, so. Yeah. Like, okay, we have a spare.
Tell you what, you can tell on people now. Snitches don't get stitches anymore. Snitches get bitches now.
I guess it depends on.
How does that work?
I don't know. Have you ever heard of Takeshi 6ix9ine?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going for. Yep.
Yeah, heard him.
Something else I've learned, like with how other people come at you, whether they're bullying you or whether they're just being a complete pain in the ass to you. Something that I am still learning is to not take things so damn personally.
Yes.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times when someone comes at you, it is literal projection. It's what they're going through.
Yep.
And it doesn't have anything to do with you.
That's what they were talking about on that clip too. Like,
Maybe not.
Yes.
Maybe not every time. There are times where I'm a pain and I'll take accountability where I need to. But like, yeah, okay, you're right. I messed up. I'll apologize. I will keep my end. But a lot of the time, anybody's ever come at me, it's because they're going through something and they're taking it out on me because I'm an easy target.
Yeah,
apparently,
that's that episode that I was talking about when it comes to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Is he interviews Zach Levi, who plays Shazam, and he talks about how that's how like I guess he had a serious like a bad relationship with him and his mom, and he wrote a letter to his mom during like a counseling. And at first, he said the front of the page was nothing but "I hate yous" and like all these like horrible things. He says as soon as I flipped that page, it was nothing but forgiveness, and that he understood that it was that got me, was that because that's when he started bawling. I'm like, oh God, no.
That one I bawled through because I'm like living through what I've lived through. I was just like, oh my God, how did you do that? I'm bawling through the whole thing. Love that one.
I lived through some of that with you.
Rough shit.
Yes, it is. And I mean, yeah, like I said, I've been bullied. So all these guys that I got bullied by were these guys who just were going through some shit. Later on in life, after I graduated, I think maybe 5-6 years later, these guys added me on Facebook and we sat there and started talking. And they explained to me like they were going through some serious shit, and like they actually apologized to me, and like I'm sorry that we treated you like that. Like later on, I realized you're actually a really cool guy to talk to. You're very informative. You know what you're talking about. You're very funny, and like just basically sat there and apologized. So I say that, but I've also had one bully who I had on Facebook, got rid of him, and then a couple of years later he added me back. We sat there and started talking. He apologized, but then like not even a week later, I guess this guy got drunk or something. He's like, "Remember that one time that I did this, and this to you?" I'm like, "Yeah, it kind of hurt." He goes, "Yeah, but it was funny." Immediately blocked him. I was like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing this."
Love it when people don't change.
Yeah, some people don't.
Oh,
That's
so I see
sad.
you're still a dick.
Yeah.
Thanks. See ya. But that's the thing. You can only hold yourself accountable. You cannot expect other people to hold their own self accountable. When you stop realizing, or when you start realizing that other people don't control themselves, you can then start controlling your own self. I don't know if that made any sense.
No, absolutely. Like, no matter what
Especially
kind of
your own
effort you
thoughts.
put forth for that person, they won't change until they're ready. Only
Right.
they can change themselves. You got to worry
Yep.
about you
Only
and
thing you
focus
can-
on what you can do better.
The only thing you can change is the way you approach whatever situation that is. That
Yes,
you're in.
sir.
Yes.
And sometimes if they show you who you are, don't try to repaint that picture. Just believe them the first time they show you who they are.
Yep.
Unless they actually put forth the willingness to change. So,
Yeah, and that's-
action speaks so much louder.
And that's the reason why, like one of my favorite quotes, I guess, ever, and it's still something that I still live by, is never judge a book by its cover.
No.
You never do that.
Nope.
Because like I said, I've met plenty of people who at first I thought, oh, they're dicks, they're assholes, and then I start talking to them like, actually, he's really cool. Actually, she's really cool. She's really nice. She's a sweetheart. There's also those days where I meet those people. I'm like, oh no, he is an asshole.
Well, if
I mean, me and you both know one that's kind of like that.
if I judge a book by its
yeah,
cover,
Oh, yeah, they.
There's a certain director.
Oh, yeah.
if I judge a book by its cover, when I met Nathan, we wouldn't be friends right now. 'Cause look at him. No, just kidding. Love you, dude.
I was with your sister for a while.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah, it was my first problem with you. That's why I didn't start being friends with you until after.
That's when the issue started.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten away
Jesus.
yet.
What?
I haven't found a way to get away. I'm trying to break off this motherfucker. Now you got me under fucking contract with this podcast. Even though
Yeah.
there's no real contract.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I
Yeah, the
do.
whole change thing. I think that's one thing. Something else that I've noticed that I need to work on is like there's so many people in my life that I like. If you're in my life, it's because I care about you. I think you're amazing. I want to bond. Yada 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 yada. Not to get mushy, but there's some people in my life that I'm like, I just wish they would see how their actions are negatively affecting them, and I wish that would change. But I know I can't make somebody change, and I end up hurting myself. I end up sitting here hurting because I'm like, oh my God, I see the potential that you
Right.
have. Why
Yeah.
can't you just?
And then
Why can't
then you try to sit there and show them, but they're not seeing it, and it's slowly hurting.
Absolutely,
You. Yeah.
like you have all this talent, all this capability to be something so great. I see it. Why don't you see it?
Yeah.
But you can't convince them of that. They have to see it for themselves. Like, oh, like you could move forward and you could have this amazing job. You could get so much out of life, and you just don't even try. And I don't understand.
Well, I mean,
and you want to understand,
think-
but you don't want to push them. You know what I mean? Like,
I can give you an idea of something that might be blocking them, though. It would be depression.
it would have to be.
Sometimes that depression can block that ability for that person to see like their potential, their ability to do what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Like with theater or something like that, like an actor who goes through depression, they don't see like how great of an actor they are. Again, I keep talking about the show because people need to watch it. Inside of you, some of the actors he talks to who go through like serious cases of depression. Listen to the Alan Richardson one.
Got it. I'm subscribed to him.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm
Thank
subscribed to Inside of You. I'm subscribed, so I can go look it up now.
So if you don't know who Alan Richardson is, he is have you ever seen Blue Mountain State?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
He's not the lead, but he is the quarterback for the team. He's a
Okay.
hilarious actor. He's probably like one of my favorite characters off that. He was also in Hunger Games, but more recently, he is the new Jack Reacher. Big, tall, but ripped dude. But from everything I've heard, he's actually a really cool guy. The episode I listened to, dude tried to kill himself. At the height of almost the height of his career, he actually almost tried to kill himself. Like, and when I say he tried, I mean he actually had a noose and was about to tie it up, and then it basically, I think like the cord broke or something like that. It was like one of those like divine intervention things. But he talks about how he went through all this shit and he realized like, what the hell am I doing? He went to therapy, all these different things, and he got better. And now he's the new Jack Reacher. And from everything I've heard about that show, it's a show I need to watch because I've heard nothing but good things about it because of Alan Richardson. And apparently he's fucking phenomenal in it.
I'm gonna have to look that one up
Hell
too.
yeah, boy.
So we're
Also, yeah, we're talking about suicide now. I clicked. I'm like, I
Not
probably should have
that.
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be cut out right there.
And scene.
But if you want to know what I just said, listen to that Inside of You episode with Alan Richardson. It's actually, like I said, it's a very awesome episode. But yeah, no, like sometimes you get that blockage in your head, like during depression, that you don't see yourself for who you are. It happened with me. You know, I didn't see myself for who I was. I saw myself for the failures, for not being there for my mom during her time when she was in the nursing home, for not seeing her enough, for not seeing my nana enough, for not seeing my grandmother enough. I would sit there and be like, it's the should have, could have, would have. I should have done this. I should have
absolutely,
done that. I should have done that. I could have done this. Would have done this.
Maybe if I would have done this, then this
Yes.
wouldn't have happened.
And
or
you sit there-
Maybe somehow I could have done this.
And again,
And they'd still
depression is worrying about the past. So it's you sitting there saying these things to you, saying these things to you, like saying this thing to yourself. It's not going to solve anything because you can't go to the past and you can't fix it. The only thing you can do
It's just learn and go.
is learn and go. Yes. And then once that happens and that clicks into your head, that's when the healing process happens. That's when you're like, okay, I can climb out of this well.
I also kind of wish that I could, like, to those that I know who fight with mental health, like I wish there was a way that I could give them like their own. I wish I could find a niche for them or their thing and just give it to them, because like for you and I, for example, like theater is where I go. Like if I
It's
feel
there,
like
yeah.
I can't let out anything in a healthy manner, oh my god,
It's therapy.
Theater is like so therapeutic. Like it's amazing.
To me
is.
it's the ultimate therapy.
Like
It is the most psychotic thing to say though, because for me, and I think I've told you this, is that when it comes to theater, I am myself when I'm somebody else. When I'm on that stage and I've done all the research about these characters, and like prime example will be like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I was part of the Shelby County Players version of it. I was nominated for an award and didn't win.
damn.
But the reason why was the fact that I sat there and was like, okay, I broke down the character. What did Billy Bibbit go through? Like what? Like why does he have this stutter? Why is he in this loony bin? Why is he doing all these different things? And then when I started doing that, I started creating this character inside my head. Also had amazing directors who taught me how to actually stutter correctly. Because the thing I found out was that for you guys, I'm going to assume that a stutter for you would be like getting stuck on a letter, right? Like
Right.
it's getting stuck on a syllable.
Yeah.
Like if I were to say like Timmy fell down the well and start stuttering on a word, it's not going to be like Timmy fell down the it'll be Timmy fell.
Right.
Because you're struggling to get that word out. It's right there, but you can't get it out. And you start getting, and I'm so thankful for these people, because what I found out was that I started to do it in this way because I started getting frustrated with, like, as a character, I started getting frustrated with myself because I couldn't get these words out. And so whenever I would start stuttering, I would start getting pissed off at myself. Like, legitimately start getting pissed off.
Can't
And then finally get the word out, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
There it is.
Steve Harvey actually, on his show, the Steve Harvey Show, he actually helped somebody, and then he helped somebody get out of stuttering. Somebody had a stutter problem, and he taught her a method on the show, and then he said, meet me after the show, and I'll give you more information, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he said in like 6 weeks, you won't stutter again.
yep.
He said he guaranteed that. And his method was say whatever sentence you're about to say 3 times in your head before you say it. Because you're not trying to think of it as you say it then. Sometimes it's not your vocabulary as much as it is your brain's not thinking fast enough for what you're trying to say.
Yeah. And to get back into like the acting part to all this though, is that I don't know if it's the same thing for you, Allie, but when you become that different character, you're not sitting there worrying about the things that are happening with your life. Because you know if that happens, you're not there. You're not there present with the rest of the group. Or with the rest of the yeah, I'm starting to stop. You're not there with the rest of the class, I guess.
Started something.
Yeah. You're not there with the rest of the class. You know what I mean? Like you're there, but you're not there. So when that happens, then you start to fail. Then the rest of the play starts to fail. But when it comes to theater, when you get to that moment where that character's been figured out, and you get on that stage and you're that character, you're not worrying about your bills.
No, it is an escape from
Yes.
reality for a minute.
It is the ultimate escape. Because
Okay.
you're not worrying about your bills. You're not worrying about your friends, like issues with your friends or anything like that. You're more focused on delivering your lines and staying in character. as much as you can. And then once you're off that stage, once you're done with that play, then you can start worrying about the rest of it.
Reality sets back in. You're like, fuck.
Shit.
Yeah, you're talking about like your character development and trying to find the character. Like for me, I don't know how it is for you, but Eric and I have talked about this. It's like the minute you're like, oh, I got it. It's like a light switch.
Yes.
The minute you flip that switch and you're on stage, it's like, oh, I'm not Allie anymore. I'm Mrs. Daigle. Or I'm not Allie anymore. I'm Miss Nelson. I'm not Allie anymore. I'm Claire. Like the minute it clicks, you're like, that's how they are.
Oh,
God.
yeah. It's like,
And it's not me. It's not me anymore. I'm like an alter ego, I guess.
Yes.
Like I'm somebody different. And if you happen to be going through strong shit in life, and the play happens to be like a strong emotional play, oh God, it's such a relief to get that all out in that character.
I know for a fact that me and you have talked about this, like off camera, like beforehand. Like I think during, I think it was when you were doing on Golden Pond, because you told me the story about how you legitimately were actually like you and your co-star were actually legitimately screaming at each other because you were both pissed. You were like honestly, actually, like, honest to God, pissed off for some reason. You're like, no, let's use it, and you did it. And I'm so pissed off I wasn't able to see it because I wanted to see it.
I don't know, like you guys when you guys came, like and like you and Eric,
don't get me wrong. That scene when we were there, it was good. It was amazing
because we're like, you know. Like if this is like a real life scenario, I mean, how would you act if this is a real life scenario? Well, then there was this one day that I came in and I was bawling. I had gotten into, I don't want to call it like a fight or nothing, but I had words with my mom's significant other, and he's got some struggles of his own, so that fueled it. And he said something off the wall to me that day, just before I had to go to show night. I get there and I arrive, and one of the fellow actresses that I was working with, she noticed I was upset and followed me to the bathroom, and I'm crying. And I told her, just give me a second, I'll get past it. But I was telling her what was going on, and I said I'm not crying because I'm upset. I'm crying because I'm angry. I'm so pissed off right now. And she goes, girl, listen, I had a moment beforehand too. She's like, and I'm not in the greatest mood either. She goes, but you know what we could do? We could totally use it for that scene where we yell. I go, honey, I'll really yell at you. I don't want to. She goes, but you're acting. It won't hurt my feelings. We should totally do it. All right, bet. Let's do it. So when we did it, it was so great because she's like, because I said, you know, my line was something about, you don't know how it feels to go unnoticed every time that old son of a bitch crosses your path. And
Don't you call him a son of a bitch?
Yeah, she slammed that table. She goes, that son of a bitch happens to be my husband. And we just glare. There was old ladies in the front, and they went, oh. Like you could just hear it in the crowd. All of them go, oh. And we looked at each other with a twinkle in the eye like, dude, did you hear it? Did you hear it? And so when we got off stage, we were like little girls. Dude, that was so awesome. That was so great. And then we felt better.
You know, it's funny that you say that because I think honestly, when I say recently, I think like just now something clicked into my head. That's happened to me twice for 2 plays where I was going through something, and because I was going through those things, it's almost the same things that those characters are going through, it came out so well. But the first one I'll say would be, I was Mitch Albom in Tuesday to Maury. If you don't know the story about him, basically he had an uncle who was a pianist, a jazz pianist. He loved, Mitch Albom wanted to become a jazz pianist because of his uncle. His uncle died before he could even, he couldn't say goodbye to his uncle before he died. So he stopped being a jazz pianist, became a sports journalist. While he was in college, he met this guy called Maury Schwartz. You can look this guy up. He was actually a real-life person. As a matter of fact, Mitch Albom happens to be a real-life person. But when he meets Mitch, when Mitch meets Maury, at the time, they were, really good friends. And then Mitch goes on and becomes, and all this stuff happens to him, and he becomes a sports journalist. Later on, he finds out that Maury contracts ALS, or has ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. And Mitch has the idea of, okay, I'm going to go out to him and say hi. And while I think it's the second time he goes out there, he's talking to Mitt. He's talking to Maury. He goes, "Look, I'll tell you what. I'll come out here every Tuesday and talk to you, like interview you." And they start doing that, and I think he does it for a couple of years. I think I can't remember how long it happens, but he's just going through this, and he also starts going through like his own mental stuff because, like I said, he lost his uncle, and he knows that he's going to lose his good friend Maury. And at the very end, it's this very sad scene where Maury's basically on his deathbed, and he finally gets Mitch to cry. And it's a very cathartic scene. The reason why I'm bringing up some of that is the simple fact that I was basically going through something I went through something kind of like that, where my grandfather, who's actually the guy who got me into movies and into cartoons. Specifically, my favorite cartoon and slash movie would be Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah. He's the one that got me into that movie. He's actually, I call it breaking. He broke the movie magic, he broke the magic of movies. If that makes any sense? Because when you're a kid and you're watching these movies, you don't know they're real. Right. You don't know that they're fake. So like have you guys seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I have it.
You have it?
Yeah.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that half of that was fake and half of it was real.
Right.
Well, yeah.
How they had like stand-ins basically for Roger Rabbit. I didn't know that at the time. So he had bought it. It was when DVDs first came out. He had bought it. We were over in New Jersey, and we sat down and watched it because it looked interesting to me. And we sat there, started watching it, and he goes, half of this isn't real. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, here, I'll show you. He actually brought up the behind the scenes. And it broke that magic for me to an extent because I still love movies.
Right.
As a matter of fact, if anything, that strengthened my love for movies. Because then all of a sudden I got fascinated by the idea of how these movies were created, and then all of a sudden that kind of transformed into how cartoons were created and the voice acting and stuff like that. But he died before I could even say goodbye. Like he was like one of my best friends, and it wasn't that I didn't know that he was dying. In all fairness, it was the fact that I didn't know he was dying because he contracted stage 4 they found out he had stage 4 leukemia.
Too late.
Yes. And at the time, there was no cure. I don't think there still is a cure. But we went there. We're sitting there talking to him. He's fine. He's up. He's talking to everybody. And we all say our goodbyes. And for me, it wasn't me saying goodbye to my grandfather. It was just me saying goodbye to him because I was going to see him the next day. Or I was going to see him in a couple of weeks. And it was like a couple of days later, he passed away. So I never had that. I'm actually about to start crying. I never had that closure to say goodbye. So when I was on that stage as Mitch, having that heart-to-heart with Maury as he's dying, literally every single night, I legitimately was crying. It's hard for me to like cry on command, like I am right now. But every night, I actually was crying. And at the very end, there's a monologue. I keep forgetting. Once I get the first maybe sentence or two, I can remember it.
Yeah.
But there were 6 shows. The first 5, I was able to do it without having to a breakdown. The final show though on that Sunday at 2:00 in the afternoon, I actually broke down crying on stage. Halfway through that monologue, or at the very end of that monologue, I actually started crying. Legitimately started could not get my words out. And the audience was there watching the entire thing. And I say all this, the second time it happened was Cuckoo's Nest. Because Billy Bibbit, the reason why he has a stutter is the fact that he's afraid of failure. He's afraid of failing his mom. He's afraid of failing his friends. If you've never seen the movie or read the book or seen the play, basically at one point there's this huge party because the main guy, McMurphy, played by I keep forgetting his name, Jack Nicholson. Mm-hmm. He's about to leave. He's actually about to escape the loony bin basically. And so they have this party where they bring in these hookers and there's weed. And during the scene, Billy goes from a stuttering mess to actually being able to overcome his stutter and start talking normally because he's finally like accepting himself and that he's not a failure and that he's a part of a group or part of a group of friends that are there for him. And basically, party goes on. Him and one of the prostitutes, or one of the hookers, I guess, go backstage and they have sex. Well, the Nurse Ratched, who's like the main villain of the show, she comes out, gets these orderlies to go into the back of the room, and pulls them both out, basically half naked. And she is able, and Billy actually stands up for himself. No stuttering. He is confident, I know who I am, stuff like that. And she realizes that she's slowly losing grip on him. Basically what she says is like, "What would your mother think of this?" And all of a sudden he breaks down and admits that McMurphy's the one who started the party and all this stuff. And he gets up. Like, basically my character's supposed to like start bawling and fall down to his knees, make the confession, and then she's supposed to like pick him up. That's all right. You're not gonna tell my mother, are you? And she's like, no, it's fine. And my character's supposed to look around and like talk to McMurphy, and he's supposed to like sit there and just like just look at me like, why? And then my character's supposed to run off. Like right then and there, when he realized what he did, he's supposed to run off. The play, I'm so glad I did it this way, was that I fall to my knees, I do the confession, and I get up, and I say McMurphy. Like I stutter McMurphy, and as I'm looking back, I first look at the guy who's playing McMurphy. His name is Kerry Nye. He's a phenomenal actor. Trust me, there's a story to him that, especially during that play, that is just insane. But I look at him, and I look at the rest of the cast. I look at each of them in the eyes. I draw it out, and then I start like walking towards the edge of the stage. Just kind of like my character just kind of processing what he just did. He realizes it, starts to cry, and runs off. And he actually, in the play and in the movie, he kills himself. Like slices his, like in the movie, he slices his, I think he slices his wrist and his throat, like in the doctor's office. The reason why I bring that up was that character was going through depression, or a form of depression. And I think at that time, I was going through it. I just didn't realize it. You know what I mean?
It hit you then.
Yeah, I think it hit me now because I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it until just now. Like, holy shit, I think I might have been like suffering from depression for a very long time. Just never realized it. Didn't have the word for it, I guess. But yeah, I think to bring it back to what Allie was saying is the fact that I think when it comes to those plays, and you get to those characters that you went through what they were going through, it can bring out some of the best performances I have ever seen in my entire life. Some of the best. Like I said, I got nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Billy Bibbit, and I guarantee you it was because of that last fucking scene. Guarantee it, because every single time I did that scene, you could hear a pin drop down the alley. Or down the alley of the theater. It was just silence. And I still remember days where I would do that play, and a group of old ladies would come up. I honestly thought you killed yourself. Like, genuinely thought I actually went backstage and killed myself.
Damn. That's dark.
It is, but
That's good though. I mean,
it is. It's great. Like it is the weirdest feeling to be an actor and have that have an audience member say that to you.
Yeah.
Like Tuesdays with Maury, my aunt's from New Jersey came over. She's like bawling her eyes out. I didn't know it's gonna be a sad play. I'm like, I should have warned you. I'm so sorry.
Be like, goddamn right, I killed myself. I'm acting like I'm alive right now.
Well, that's like.
But trust me, I actually had sex.
I'm
back
really
then,
good at
too.
acting. I'm not actually alive right now.
Well, that's like with Bad Seed. I didn't even think about like
Oh yeah. Oh
relating
my God, that play.
relating to a player like on Golden Pond. If I think about it, I could have related to on Golden Pond because of the relationship she has with her father. Fodder.
Father.
Fasha?
That came Fasha. No, her and her dad have like a very weird like bond, and I guess I could have related to that. But really, I think one of my best performances was Bad Seed. Even though behind the scenes, it was awful.
Let's not.
I'm not going to open the can of worms, but
Damn
on
it.
stage, like,
It involves that director that we were talking about. That's all I'm gonna
yeah.
say.
but like,
Oh, by the way, I blocked him on Facebook officially.
did you?
Yes, I got tired of his stupid
It's
shit.
official.
I haven't. He hasn't sent me anything else since he asked me to join.
Constantly political shit.
Oh,
Like
God, he's
legitimate
awful.
politics? Or political backstage politics?
Basically
No,
just
like
bullshit.
legitimate, like actual, like Republic.
Like shoved it down everybody's throat kind
Yes.
of? Gotcha.
Oh God, yes, like choking you.
I didn't
with,
know if
like,
you
his
meant-
Republican
I didn't know if you
agenda.
meant he discussed politics too much or if he was politicking backstage. That's why I was asking.
Oh,
like far fucking right as possible is basically the best way. I can
well,
explain it.
as far as
But also when it comes to backstage, if we want to open that can of worm just a little bit, I played with him during, like, I'll tell you my story with him, with Tuesdays, not Tuesdays, with wow, holy shit, Cuckoo's Nest, with one of the Cuckoo's Nest, he was one of the loonies. He forgot a line. As an actor, if another actor forgets a line, if I know the line, I'm gonna say the line and then just continue the play. He forgets his line during one of the rehearsals, and so I say it as my character, and the line in the play in that scene continues until the director says cut. And I remember clear as day, this dude looks at me and goes, "Don't you ever do that again." I said, "Don't." And then I looked him right in the face, like, "Is this motherfucker serious?" And I was like, Then don't forget your fucking lines. I said it right back to him, like, don't forget your fucking lines. And at that moment, I was like, I don't think I would ever want to work with this dude. And then, Allie, if you want to talk about it a little bit, just
I can
a little
talk about
bit.
it a little bit. So this person outside of the theater is okay. Like, we went to a
Yeah,
cast
he's,
party at this person's house. You know, he's got a little open bar, good time, food, drinks, cool person. As a director, like, it's almost like working for a Nazi. Like, if I turned the wrong way, walked the wrong way, spoke the wrong way, said a line a little differently, like, he's definitely into micromanaging. And I told him if he didn't lay off, I would quit that play. And we were 3 weeks away from show, and I told him I would walk out and quit.
Yeah,
Quit.
but to open the can a little bit more, it wasn't it wasn't just you.
Oh no, it wasn't just
It was
me.
basically the entire cast was like, yeah, no, like, if you continue this shit, we will walk.
Yeah, that wasn't just me. It was several of the
Yeah,
cast
that's-
members. But as far as that,
Bullshit.
And then he acted like it was this big serious deal. Like, I mean, granted, it was a big serious deal, but he made it even worse from everything I've heard.
Yeah, it was.
Like, oh God, like, I'm sorry if it was my fault. Like, no,
Oh
it is
yeah,
your fault. Stop.
gaslighting.
Gaslighting, thank you.
Gaslighting.
For one,
Wow.
nobody's getting paid for it.
Yeah,
You know what I
Exactly,
mean? So why take
exactly.
it
That's what
that
we told
serious? You know
I mean,
what I mean?
and, yeah, and that's the reason why behind the stage, like on the set, trust me, I'm going to be very, like if I'm on the stage during the actual play, you better believe I'm going to be as professional as possible.
Right.
Right.
But during rehearsals, I'm going to
Right.
fuck around and be an idiot.
Yeah,
if I'm
exactly.
behind stage, I'm
Have
going to be a
some
fucking
fun.
idiot.
If I was a director, that's what I'd say.
Have you ever seen
like,
Two and a
have
Half
fun
Men bloopers?
while you
Yeah.
do it.
Like, they
You
fuck
can
around
give
a
me
lot.
guidance without being
Again,
like,
perfect
you know what I
example.
mean?
Inside of you, they talk about that shit all the time.
Right. Hell, throw some improv in
They-
there.
they
I'll
kick
give
Charles-
that.
Sometimes you have to if you forget a line. You improv
Right.
that shit.
They kicked Charlie Sheen off the show 13 years after they or 13 years worth of fucking bullshit. What I was trying to say is 13 years before, or god damn it, fuck it. I don't know.
But
Hey.
you know, I know, but I know what you're
I don't know
talking
how many years it actually was. I'm just saying 13 is
Like
funny.
you're talking about the fact that like during that entire
13 years too late is what I was
Yeah,
trying to say.
yeah. For those for 13 years, he was just sitting there, just being a dumbass and just doing
Yeah,
drugs
but that's
constantly,
yeah,
constantly.
Not
And he
showing
kn-
up on time.
Yes.
Not showing up at all.
And then guess what? When that happens, just like any other fucking job I've ever had, if you're not going to show up to your work, guess what? They're going to find somebody else.
Yep. Just a number.
And they found Ashton Kutcher, which I'm still not sure about that.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't mind
It
it.
wasn't bad, but it was just kind of interesting to be like, Charlie Sheen's gone. Let's get Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, and he was definitely a replacement too. He
Yes.
wasn't just a guy.
It was definitely a last minute.
Yeah,
But also at the same time, I thought he was pretty good in it.
I thought he did
Yeah, he did.
absolutely. I think he reignited his career with that.
And
Honestly.
and inside of you, he actually does an interview with John Cryer.
Yes.
Who is Charlie Sheen's
Right.
brother in the show.
Alan.
And they talk about that a little bit. They don't get too much into it because I don't think John Cryer likes to talk about him.
Yeah.
But they talk about like his time.
I believe I maybe have already seen that podcast before because I think I've seen the clip with him talking about that a little bit.
Because it was during the time when he was playing Lex Luthor for almost a small girl, Supergirl.
Small.
Smallville,
I don't know.
my
I
guy.
don't know why that's funny.
Small girl.
But
Small boy.
smallpox.
Monkeypox.
I was gonna say.
Do you turn into a monkey?
Shit.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's it.
On the bad
Yeah.
bad seed thing.
Poof.
Like, I never thought about
Halfway
channeling my
there.
own personal on that one. I actually, the guy that played the janitor in the play was the one that told me to go ahead and put myself in
You
the
guys
character
can't see
shoes.
it, but he is dying over here.
I can hear him.
That's why I went
Tyler's
on
just sitting there
camera.
dying right
Just
now.
dying.
I don't want everybody to see my
Small
ugly mug
girl.
laughing anyway. I'm ugly laughing over here.
He's laughing at small girl.
Go ahead.
Give me
Alan.
going
anyway.
again. God damn it.
I got told instead of like personalizing the character and putting my own personal things in life into the character, to actually think about the character and what they've just been through.
Yes.
So obviously, if you've seen the play, Mrs. Daigle lost her 10, 11-year-old son. He drowned. I have a son in that age range,
Drowned.
right? So they're like, if you were Mrs. Daigle and you were grieving over your son, how would you feel if that was Tristan? He drowned. How would you act? And I'm like, oh, that just went deep.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right,
you
that's
say?
kind of
Hysterical?
morbid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was
Like,
like, that's really
go
morbid.
nuts.
So I'm like, I don't even know if I can think that thought. But once we got to show nights, I started thinking like that. Okay, if I was this like as a mom, how would I react? If I was drinking myself this way, how would I act? And there was a few times that I could get tears mustered up. I wasn't full on crying, but it was pretty damn close because I had to think about, okay, if this was Tristan and Isaac, how would I feel?
Right.
And it came out so good. And then Taylor, I hope she doesn't mind me mentioning her. I think she did fantastic too. Like, she did a good job of channeling her character too. And not in a spoiler alert, she ends up killing herself at the end of that play. And you could hear the audience every night after that gun would go off. Like, we could actually hear people going,
Yeah.
what happened? Oh
Yeah.
my God. What
I was like,
happened? You could
holy
hear 'em.
shit. I
Yeah.
didn't expect that.
Oh yeah, you came and seen it, didn't you?
Yeah,
I will
that was the
say-
first one that I seen.
I will say that when I went to go see it, and you can actually ask one of our mutual friends, Hillary, about this because she was with me during that time. But I liked it. I thought it was awesome. That finals, like that scene when she killed herself, I had that moment of, oh fuck.
I literally.
But it was the post scene. After
Yeah.
that, with
Oh,
the
yeah.
dad, and all of a sudden she comes out, and she's still alive. I was just like, no,
Yeah, that sigh out of the audience, that angry,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I almost forgot. That just hit me again because I forgot this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I honestly was
Plot
not expecting.
twist.
Yeah, I was not expecting that twist.
I just got goosebumps thinking about it again.
Yeah, because I am so used to like watching movies and watching plays where you know how it ends.
Yes.
Bad
That was
Seed.
such a plot twist.
Yeah, Bad Seed. I've never read it. I've never seen the play. I've never read I've never read the script. So I'm sitting there literally watching this with a blind eye. I didn't know it was going to happen. So I'm sitting there like, oh man, this is kind of sad. Like, wait, why are they doing this scene? Like, why are they having this? Like, I like it. It's a cool idea to have a scene where it's the surviving members of this group that are just sitting there kind of talking and grieving. And then all of a sudden she comes out. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, because the intention was for her to drug her and kill her also, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then kill herself right after.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's what you think, because I'm sitting there thinking, especially during that scene when she does that. I mean, huge spoiler for the show. 2 spoilers. Mother finds out that the girl actually killed your kid.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, this little girl was a
So the
psychotic.
mother tries to kill the daughter with sleeping pills, and then goes into the back room with a gun and kills herself or shoots herself. The other spoiler is at the very end. It's the father who was gone for military, right?
Yeah, he's been gone. Like he was.
Yeah, he's been gone. He's basically gone the entire time. You only see him for like the first, very small part for the first act. Don't get me started on that guy.
Oh yeah, me neither.
He's a weird dude.
Live different.
But
Wait, which one?
He played.
he plays the evil girl's dad.
He's the one that comes in very dramatically and goes, "My love, my darling."
Wee!
And he takes Taylor up, spins her around, kisses her hand.
Oh, the dad.
Yeah, the one
Yeah,
that's
the
all
very
upset at
beginning.
the end,
Gotcha.
like, why didn't I see it? The signs.
We won't get into.
Yeah, it was weird to me because I almost thought they were like
Lovers.
lovers at
Yeah.
first, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Wait, what?"
The age. I think for me, what threw me
Yes.
off was the age.
Yes.
Oh, big age gap.
Because you could tell there was an age gap.
Yes.
You could just easily, like, don't get me wrong, it probably wasn't to do with anything like makeup or anything like that. They probably you guys probably did the best you could, but at the same time, you're easily like almost 15 years older than her. What the hell is this?
I found out
Having
how old
said
he was.
that, I
and
also
it threw me off.
having said that, I've also played a. How old was my character? Miss Nelson's missing.
You guys were in my 5th grade class.
I was a fifth grader at the age of 30.
Wow.
And I had this tattoo. Or at least not all this, but I had this part right here, like the rose and the astronaut. I had this underneath. That's the reason, like, if you ever seen the play, I'm wearing long sleeve shirts because if I wasn't, you would find out that Raymond's fucking tatted.
I'm just picturing you with that beard.
You know what? You could have played it off though. Like if you were if they changed scenes and it shows you guys the next day, you could be holding markers just drawing on yourself.
Oh my god, I didn't think
You know
about
what
that.
I mean? And they'd be like, I made a tattoo.
No, you'd be even better.
I drew on myself.
Permanent markers.
There you
If
go.
I was holding a Sharpie, just kind of draw like,
Oh. They still have those little paper booklets, like the little test booklets. They still have them at the Playhouse. We were looking at everything you guys wrote in them. Freaking hilarious. Speeds wrote in there.
But also, tangent aside,
Yes.
that final scene, you find out that it's basically, see if I can remember this correctly.
Spoiler alert.
It's a huge spoiler alert. It's the dad comes back from the army, finds out the wife is dead. It is amazing actress Letitia. Her character, is it her brother?
Yeah, she has like a brother, and I'm just going to call the other one her brother-in-law because they
Yeah.
start hinting around that they're a couple.
That those two guys are fucking phenomenal.
I love both of them.
But
They're good.
they're kind of sitting there talking about like the tragedy and like how, like, you know, the husband just sitting there upset. How could this happen? Really hamming it up. But all of a sudden, door opens up. The daughter's still alive.
Yeah, because they're like, well, just be thankful we found Rhoda in time or she would have been gone too or something like that. And they open
And you're like, wait, what? Then all of a sudden the door opens up and she's still alive. And you're like, what the fuck?
That's exactly.
Yeah.
The audience, every time it got to that, you could just hear it.
Oh.
Where everybody was going, no.
I tell you what, when I heard that gunshot, though, I looked at my buddy Jacob that was there. He's been on the show before. I was like, dude, that got dark.
Speaking,
And then she came out there. I was like, holy fucking shit, that got dark.
Speaking of endings, me and you were outside talking about this while you were setting everything up. We were talking about movies. Mm-hmm. And we talked about a certain franchise that we both like is Jurassic Park. We're talking about the most recent ones, Jurassic World.
Dominion.
The newest one was Dominion.
The
right?
Minions.
Oh.
And then you have Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, whatever. So, Jurassic World was awesome. I haven't seen the third one yet.
Fallen Kingdom.
Kingdom.
That's
that
the
one.
second one.
Yes,
Jurassic
okay.
World.
So Kingdom comes out, and I went to the theaters to go see it. I liked it. It wasn't a bad movie. I mean, I had a couple of slight issues with it. And then it gets to the end. This is going to be a major spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Turn it off now if you don't want to watch it.
Yeah. Warning.
Or keep listening because you're gonna hear me go on a fucking tirade here in a minute.
Yeah.
So here you have all the main cast: Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard. This girl you find out happens to be a clone of one of the cast members' daughters who had died previously, so he cloned her, and now it's a girl. It's very convoluted, but they're in this control room, and in front of them is this big glass windows looking into this like basically a storage area, and you have all these dinosaurs. You have a brontosaurus, you have a T-Rex, you have the velociraptors, and I think including Blue, I think. But you have all these dinosaurs, and they're in there with this poisonous gas that's slowly filling up the room. And they're sitting there like, oh my God, what should we do? There's a button. There's a big red button for a big giant door to open up to save them. And they're like, oh my God, should we hit the button? Should we hit the button and save them? Or should we not and just let them die? I'm just like, there's a fucking T-Rex in there. You let the T-Rex out, and by the way, the door doesn't go to like some small enclosure. It's taking them out to the middle of like, I think California.
Something like that, yeah.
I'm like, there's a fucking T-Rex in there. Don't hit the button. Don't hit the button. Let them die. Like, don't hit the button. They're like, oh my God, what should we do? Like, don't hit the button. Don't hit the button. All of a sudden, the button's pressed. And the dinosaurs go out. And it slow pans from Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt over to this girl. She's like, I couldn't help it. Like, those poor animals. I'm like, there's a fucking T-Rex in there. Just killed a dude like 5 minutes ago. What the fuck are you doing? You just murdered people. Like, this is the worst person I've ever met in my entire life. Like, what the fuck?
But they can't let that franchise die yet.
Exactly. And yeah, no, they had to get the third one out with. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but bringing back, like the original cast was, to me, it was a good idea.
Oh yeah.
I've heard rumors that supposedly the 2 kids from the show from the original were in it too. Is that wrong?
I'm not gonna say.
That
Okay,
means
then I might
yes.
watch it.
That just solidified that answer.
Yeah,
didn't
no
it?
shit.
Is this streaming on anything right now? I got a feeling I could probably rent it on.
If it's
on
not,
Amazon
he's going to be
Prime.
pissed. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the studio again.
What's going on?
Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I know it just kind of abruptly ended, but we were gonna continue and do some more later on, but I decided we had talked enough, and I don't know that anybody's gonna watch 2 hours of it anyway. So if you'd like to see him back on, like the video, subscribe, or just comment, be like, hey, we want Rocky back on. Any video, you don't have to do it on this one. Like if 3 weeks go by and you guys want to see him back on, let us know, and we'll find a way to get him back on.
Yeah.
But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed that episode, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.